Welcome to the Not Superheroes Gets Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids, and combat generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing to barbecue is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. I hope you guys are having an amazing, blessed day today. Today's been it's Texas, so Texas give weird weather. It can be cold in the morning, then hot in the afternoon, then rain at night. So you guys know how that goes. That lives in Texas. But with that being said, before we jump into it, make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. You guys know I appreciate the support so much. Now with that being said, man, I'm excited to have Malachi with me. All the way from the UK, which is pretty amazing and dope. And I appreciate you sharing, or you jumping on, bro. For those that's tuning in, today's conversation is a special one because obviously we always talk about fatherhood, but it's going to be honestly from like a global lens as well, right? And so just being able to dive into that and be able to have certain conversations. But before we jump into it, man, I like to do an icebreaker. So I guess my icebreaker for you, bro, is what was one of your favorite desserts growing up as a kid?
Favorite desserts growing up as a kid? People are gonna start judging me already. Yeah. You can't go wrong with cake and custard. Little sprinkle cake and the custard.
Okay. All right.
You know about that?
I know nothing about that. I was gonna ask you, can you break that down for me? I don't know.
A little cake and custard. You know what custard?
Yeah, I know custard. Yeah, I just never had it.
Oh, you never had it? Okay, yeah. Warm that up. Warm that up, and you got a little sprinkle cake.
Mm-hmm.
But that, to be fair, that started from school times. School times when I was school
Okay.
dinners used to have the cake and custard, and that one stuck with me from young. So yeah, cake and custard, I say, is my go-to dessert.
Really? So do you know how to make it yourself?
Nah, I don't make myself. I'm not that advanced.
Like that's not your gift, huh?
Nah, that's not me. I just buy a little cheap one from the shop and I'm good to go. I'm a simple man.
Simple man. Hey, me too.
What about you, bro?
Favorite dessert growing up? Man, that's a good question for me. Man, I would say, oh, you know what? Actually, it still is probably cinnamon rolls, like the cinnamon rolls. So, when people have cake, right? Birthday cakes for their birthday. My wife gets me cinnamon rolls. Like she
Yeah.
buys like a dozen of them, puts a candle in there. Like I like
Yeah.
cinnamon rolls. So yeah,
That's not. I got time for that.
yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, they're fire. Especially out here, a lot of times. Well, not necessarily out here, but originally I'm from California. So in California, we have like cinnamon, it's called Cinnabuns at the mall. And I ain't gonna lie, those are fire.
Good.
They're great. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because it's in the mall. I don't know, but it tastes great. So,
I hear you, bro.
but with that being said, man, tell me a little bit, man, about yourself, your background. Obviously, you grew up in the United Kingdom, right? So, like, what was that like for you, bro, as a kid? Like, what did that look like?
It's good, So obviously you already introduced me. Appreciate you. Malachi. I'm 30 years old, and sorry, I'm 30 years old, and yeah, I have a son who's 7. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, growing up for me as a kid, it was beautiful. I'm in an area, Lewisham, London, so it's very busy, very yeah. There's always something to do. There's always people around. So I grew up very social, around a space where I had a lot of friends from school, friends around the neighborhood. And yeah, I love football, so we was always playing football on the street, in the park, in the garden. We was always somewhere playing football, being social after school. A lot different to how it is now with the kids being at home on the tablets and things, but them times, yeah, when I was growing up, yeah, just constantly out and about. And if we weren't playing football, it was on bikes, or we was just chilling and hanging out, so it was cool.
Was dope. Now, when you say football, because people in the U.S. like, oh, they play football, but you talking about soccer, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I know what you meant, but I just want some people like, wait, what are they playing? Like, no, y'all,
Yeah,
this.
I should have thought about that. Yeah,
No,
soccer.
no, no, no. You 100% right though, because like some most people know, but some people are kind of in their box where they don't understand. I tell them like soccer or football, as you guys call it, is the number one sport in the world. So
Mm.
everyone plays it everywhere. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
dope, man. Was you pretty good at it?
Yeah, I was still trying to now, still trying to play now. Obviously, I'm 30, so I'm not past it yet. But
Okay,
yeah, I play like semi-professionally,
that's
so
dope.
yeah, it's not too bad. Still playing now, so
That's dope. I love it,
yeah.
man. So what was I guess what role did what yeah, what role did your father play in your life or father figure? And like did he, I guess, shape the way that you are as a parent now?
100%,
Mm.
100%. I don't know if we got enough time because my dad is
We can
yeah,
always do a part two another time, brother. I ain't tripping.
my dad's the man. My dad's the man. I just got off the phone to him now, actually.
That's
Um,
dope.
yeah, I mean, I love my mum, of course.
Yeah,
My
of
mum
course.
is an incredible woman.
Yes.
Um, but for me as a man,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the relationship I had with my dad just hit different.
Mm.
Especially once I got to a certain age and playing football, right? My mum was supportive as well, but my dad would, take me to games, travel all around, up and down London, outside of London, um, by car, by train, in
Mm.
sun, in rain, snow.
Mm.
And he would just be there to support me. And if he wasn't there to support me, he'll call me before the game, after the games, to be checking in and see how I'm doing. And of course, this is not just football. This is life.
Yeah.
Any situation in life, my dad's there. Of course, my mum was, but we're talking about dads right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, my dad's an incredible father. Always has been, and some of the stuff from young that he's said to me or he's done for me has stuck with me now
Mm.
to the point, yes, where it has influenced how I am as a man, as a father, and how I treat my boys. So, and I believe them to be very positive things, very good things that he's taught me. That I still, even today, actually, sorry, even today, I'm at the hospital and
Yeah.
was holding the door for one of the nurses coming through, and she was saying, "No, you go, you go." I said, "No, no, no, you go." She said, "No, you go." I said, "No, no, no, you go." And she said, "No, no, give me time to rest." I said, "No, I'll wait." So I waited for her, and then she's gone through, and then she said, "Oh, your mum raised you well," and I said, "It was actually." Well, I said, "Well, what about my dad?" You know, so it's to that level where I never forget the teachings and things of my dad, that he's shown me from young. Obviously,
That's
being a
dope.
man, there's certain things that he is gonna show me. Obviously, big
Mm.
respect and love to my mum always, but
Yeah.
as a man, there's certain things my dad is gonna show me and has stuck with me. So yeah, that's the influence that he's had from me from young.
I love it, bro. Just because it's a beautiful thing, like you said. Like man, your mannerisms and the way you carry yourself, is a lot of how your dad is. Like you said, your mom obviously for sure had a huge impact
Mm-hmm.
as well in your life. But yeah, that's dope, and it made me think too. We don't think about it when we're in it, right? Like you said, you had, your football stuff, you had different events, different things going on, and the sacrifices both of your parents made, of course,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the sacrifices and things like we was highlighting certain things your dad was doing, calling you, checking up on you, taking you, different places all over, right? And um, when we're young, we don't realize that. Then when we're older, especially when we have our own kids, like, damn, my dad was doing all of this. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I'm pretty sure now that you look back at it, you probably like are kind of blown away by like all the things he was doing for you.
100%. I mean, I knew back then because of the way I felt like going
Mm,
back to the football side of things. My Knowing that my dad is coming to a game, occasionally he might be late, and this is when I knew how much it meant to me because even back then, because it's like my game couldn't start until I knew he was there.
mm,
I'll be playing, but in my mind, I'm looking around. Oh, my dad's got dreads. I'm thinking, where is this Rasta man? Where are the dreads? I can't see it. So it's like in my mind, I'm not fully locked in. I'm not fully concentrating on the game. And then once my dad gets there now, and I see him, it's like, all right, cool. Now let's go. Now let's go. Dad's here. Now let's go. That's literally the kind of influence that he had on me. From young. I even say young. This kind of continued up until I was 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah,
I was still not rely on my dad, but it would still mean that much to me when he came to my games and stuff.
that's
So
dope.
yeah.
I love it, bro. No, that's dope, man. So how is it? Um, I know, compared to out here, like football, um, American football is like the number one sport out here, and
Mhm.
it's crazy, and it's as far as a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? With every sport now, a lot of it is like chasing money, like a lot of travel ball, a lot of no matter what it is, right? It's very centered about to me is more centered about like how much money you can get and you know you're constantly going here, you're constantly going there. Is it like that for you guys out there, or is it more so on the development side? Or like, so what I mean by that is like, for example, I coach basketball, right? So um, in the AAU space, it's a huge thing, man. Like, you could have a tournament literally every weekend, right? And you're traveling, it can get expensive, like 3,000 every weekend type of situation. That's not including that the team you're being on for to be on a travel ball. So just to be on a travel ball, you could be paying, I've heard as high as $300 a month. And that's just to be on the team, right? That's not including the expenses and things like that. So is that how it is for you guys as well with certain things, or is it not necessarily that? Or is it not necessarily more so on, hey, let's go here? I know you said like when you was doing football, you guys did travel and stuff, but was it something where it was like all the time, or how does that look
So
out
the
there?
traveling. So obviously within the league that we're in, some teams are further than others. So the traveling in that sense is, out of the 20 teams in the league, when you're some of the away games, some of the games you play other teams and at their home ground, it's about an hour away or so, something like that. So
Okay.
there's money spent on travel, but we were getting paid, so we were getting money. Obviously, semi-pro, so we were getting paid some more than others, but so expenses would always be covered for any travel or things like that you're doing, and then depending on how much money you're earning from them.
Wait,
Um,
so y'all would get paid? Because I'm talking about as like kids. So even right now, y'all able to get paid as kids?
from yeah. Sorry, I'm talking more now. Sorry, from young. No, from young, you just the love of the game. You just travel just for the love of the game.
Okay.
Any traveling you got to do, whether it's a game an hour away. Some teams or some maybe important matches from young, we would get like a little minibus, a little coach, something like that. But
Oh,
most
okay.
of the time, parents they're doing the journeys up and down around the country, just for the love of the game and the things they want to do for their children. Sacrifices made really.
Yeah.
Um, I was missing church. I was missing church for some games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So does your son play any sports right now, or is he just chilling, or?
no, right now he's a gamer. He's a
Oh,
gamer.
gamer. Okay.
Yeah, he's 7, but he's active though.
Yeah.
We're always at the park. He loves just being a kid. To be honest with you,
That's dope. I love it.
so he loves just running around, playing tag,
Yeah.
play fighting, riding his bike, riding his skates. He loves swimming. He does kung fu as well. Does some martial
Mm.
arts as well. So yeah, he's doing his thing. He's overall well rounded. And yeah, he's just doing his thing. Just an amazing kid. So,
That's
but he's
dope.
not into a particular set sport like that,
Yeah.
like football, the basketball, nothing like that. But yeah, kung fu he enjoys, swimming he enjoys, and then otherwise just being a kid, riding bikes, skating, etc.
That's dope, man. I love that because um, I feel like out here, a lot of times, I don't know if it's like that in the UK, but a lot of times out here, I feel like kids don't get to just be kids,
Mm.
right? So like either A, like I mentioned, if they're in the sports world, I mentioned that like, oh, you got to be great at baseball. Like we got to train every single day. You got to right? Or football or basketball, or unfortunately you have it where they have to grow up fast, right? Because
Mm.
of the environment they live in. So like you mentioned earlier too, a lot of kids don't go outside like they used to. I'm
Mm.
fortunate enough where we moved at, kids do actually go outside, and I make my kids go outside. I'm gonna go out and play, right? Um, I guess that's me being I'm an '80s baby, so I guess that's me
Yeah.
just like go out, have fun, right?
Mm.
But so that's what I was curious about too, is like um, where you're at, maybe not all over, but where you're at, do you see like, and for your son, do you see um, kids being more like kids, or is this something where they're like you said, your son's not necessarily in no particular lane, he just being a kid, which I think is beautiful. It sounds simple, like of course he should be a kid, but at least out here I've seen it so many times, man, where you know 6 years old, bro, they're having personal trainers already, you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like like it's one of those serious things for them. So that's why I want to ask you, like, do you see that often wherever you're at, where it's like, no, kids are still being kids, like, yeah, they're being on games, but they're still being kids.
Mm. So I'll say here, it's kind of a mixture. It seems
Mm,
like there's quite a lot of that, the personal trainers, the one-to-one coaches.
yeah.
Um, One of the first things people ask me now when they know I have a son, or when they knew I have a son, is does he play? Obviously,
Mm,
maybe because I play football, but that's one of the first things, not how is he, what's he like at school, does he
mm,
play? So, a lot of parents get their kids, obviously I play football. I would like my son to play football. I would love him to play football, but
yeah.
by force, absolutely not, you know? So, um, a lot of parents, I think, kind of not forced, but the kids are doing a lot, like at 6 or even before 6, as you mentioned. Whether it be the one-to-one sessions, and it could be 5, 6, 7 times a week sometimes.
Yeah.
They got their kids, active. So as you mentioned, by doing that, obviously they can't really be a kid. But you know, if I've seen a case where there's a kid who's 6 and he just loves it, so
Mm,
naturally, why not? But
yeah.
if it's a thing where like my son, he says he likes football, but he doesn't love it. He doesn't want to go out and play every day. So I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna force him. You know.
Yeah.
So there's that side of it where I see, and there's some talented kids, to be fair, with the things they're doing, with the one-to-one coaches and things. They're doing some crazy things right now at 6, 7 years old.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, and then there's the other side of it where there's kids that don't get pushed or don't get any type of nudge to do any type of sports. They're just at home on electronics all day,
yeah.
pretty much every day. Um, that's probably more common here right now,
Mm,
where I don't know if we would class that as just kids being kids, because I think a big part of it is being outside and playing and being social, right? But
yeah.
now it's just on the phone scrolling or um, playing video games,
Yeah.
these kind of things. So yeah, and or watching YouTube, watching other people play video games. So I think that's most common here right now.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I
Um,
think that's everywhere, man. We in the wrong field. We should have did that.
mm, but I think then there are also some, like I said, my son and I we pretty much go to the park near enough every day after school, and we see some regulars there. There are some regulars, there are some kids who are still always at the park, always active.
Mm,
Um, and maybe they have a nice balance. Maybe they spend time on the phone after that, but you
yeah.
know, or maybe they go to football training after that, but they also have time to be a kid and enjoy and just go to the park, run
Mm.
around, jump on swings, that kind of stuff. So,
So what? Well, one I love because like on your social media, I love that you and your son be having conversations. You're asking them different things, and like that's dope that you do that, bro. I want to ask you, what made you start doing that?
these are the conversations. These are the conversations that we have, and I love the page that I have because I always say I'm not doing anything differently for the page. I'm doing what we do and posting it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are the type of conversations that we have. Of course, I can't catch all of them on camera, right? But there's sometimes where we make that time to sit down and have the kind of conversations we have off camera, on camera, and share it and, show father and son communicating. Obviously, people talk about men don't talk this and that, men don't open up. So for me, it's deeper when I sit down and talk to my son about these things because I'm showing him it's good to talk and we break, as you mentioned at the start, your introduction, breaking cycles, so we're having those type of conversations where before, these conversations aren't really had with children. So that's why I think it's got a bigger meaning for me.
Yeah.
So that's why, I think it's healthy and important for us to have these conversations.
That's
So
dope, bro. That's dope. What was your first reaction when you found out you was having your son?
I was over the moon. I was 20, I had him at 23, so I was 20, 22, 23. I was over the moon. His mum and I were in a relationship at the time, up to 2 years, and we weren't trying, but we weren't trying not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I was over the moon, man. With the relationship I've had with my father, and I've always just kind of been a family man and always wanted kids, so, I was just over the moon. I was excited, bro.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, well, because it's one of those things where it does get it's exciting, but it can be nerve wracking too at the same time. Um, but what in this fatherhood journey of yours, what has fatherhood taught you about yourself?
About myself, what was it taught me about myself? Um,
I'll give you time to process it because that is a loaded question.
yeah, yeah.
um, I'll share what I've learned um, and about myself is that I have to be adaptable. So um, I have four kids, and with four kids, they're all different ages. They all have different needs. They all have different opinions, and so be able to meet them at where they're at in a sense, but at the same time let them know like what the standard is. So I have certain standards for my kids. Nothing crazy, of course, but just I want them to be the best human beings possible, right? And I want to provide them with the tools for when they're on their own. I don't have to worry about them, right? I know that they're going to make smart decisions. I know that the values, those core values, are something they're still going to be able to lean on when things get tough. Um, and that number one thing for me is being able to lean on God and trust in Him, and then from there, everything else that I've showed them, right? But also understand that my kids at times will do things that I don't necessarily agree with, right? But again, I have to adapt to that. I have to still make sure, okay, my child messed up here. I still need to love them, even if they don't want to accept the love at times, right? Which can be tricky. But I guess for me, it has taught me for sure that I have to learn to be adaptable because they're constantly going to change, and change is inevitable. Like it's going to happen. You can't, no matter what, it's always going to be change. Your son now that's 7, he's not going to think the same at 12 years old, right? He's going to, start having different interests. Like you say, he has many things, but maybe there's another thing and we have to be okay with that. We have to meet him there. So for me, that's something that it has really taught me about myself is being able to be um, comfortable adapting to change.
Nice, bro. Nice. I agree completely. Obviously, I only have the one, but for me, a big thing it's taught me is discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I I've always tried to be a disciplined person,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized there's levels to it. When I had a son, I realized there's levels to it. I need to be. My biggest thing with my son is time.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to make sure playing football. and just away from football, I still want to live a healthy, active lifestyle, even more so now that I have a son.
Yeah.
So that means I need to make time for the gym. I need to make time for myself. As you mentioned, God. That's my thing right now. So my biggest thing is my relationship with God. So I need to make sure that in the mornings, I'm spending time with God. I'm spending time working out, so I can be okay physically, mentally, spiritually.
Mm.
Um, and I think having a son has just made me become a better man because I'm way more disciplined now. Because I know that it's not just me; he's watching me and everything that I do. So I guess it's just taught me to become a better version of myself. Really, to become more disciplined, more structured, more just locked in all senses, in all aspects. So I'll say that's probably been the biggest thing is discipline. Um,
I love
yeah.
that, bro. I love that. So with that being said, what has been, not that I'm not, when I ask this, I'm not saying like it's been terrible, but what has just been the hardest part, or what has been the I'll say most challenging part at times when it comes to being a dad?
Most challenging part for me was the relationship with his mum. Respectfully,
Yeah.
yeah, we split when he was 4 months, so
Mm,
that already obviously
yeah.
was a big decision, big challenge already,
Yeah.
um, and to then also deal with the difficulties of the issues that we have with my son, with the issues that I have with my son's mum,
Yeah.
and also not bring that to him, not allow him to see any of these issues.
Mm,
And I think my son is 7, and I think we've done an incredible. Both myself and my son's mum have done an incredible job up until this point of not letting him see any of the troubles. I mean, we did have to go to court,
mm-hmm.
so that was the biggest challenge and the toughest time that I've experienced of fatherhood, having to go to court, to
Yeah.
find an arrangement to see my son, which I don't feel like we had to do really, but that's where we were at the time. And that was my biggest challenge. But even through that, we still didn't argue in front of him or
Yeah.
fight, like not fighting or arguing or anything in front of him.
Yeah.
It's not an easy situation, but I think we both dealt with it
Yeah.
in the best possible way to protect him and to make sure he's okay, despite our issues. So that was the toughest time,
Yeah.
toughest challenge of fatherhood, which isn't directly related to him, but
Yeah.
of course it still is in
Yeah.
a sense. But yeah, so yeah, we went to court and yeah, all of that is sorted now. And just to clarify, we had an incredible turnaround, and we were both with him today at Kung Fu when he does his martial arts and any sports events, any things like that. We've been on holiday together and things like that. So
That's dope. That's
yeah,
dope,
just a
man.
little extra on top of it. Just a side note, things turn around
Yeah.
if anyone going through them kind of difficulties as well.
Yeah. No, that's dope because that is a common thing, right? When a baby's involved or a child's involved, I'm sorry, and then the relationship doesn't work out, it can, be challenging, right? And so the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you guys, it started off rough, but you guys was able to have an understanding with each other at this point now is good. And now with the court, is it, because out here they don't favor the fathers very much. Is it the same out there?
That's the same. That,
Okay. Says the
that's yeah. I'm hearing what I'm hearing is universal.
same.
Um, yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough
Okay.
one to see the way they operated. I've heard about it,
Yeah.
but being in it to see the way they operated and how they dealt with that situation, I understood. I understood what was being said before.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Mm.
okay. So with that obviously I said what was the most challenging. Now, what has been the most rewarding for you so far?
So far, it's tough to pick one.
Or
Uh,
we'll say top. let's say top three if you can't pick a certain one. Top three, just for right now. You're gonna have a lot more
Yeah.
rewarding parts, of course, because he's only 7, so he's gonna accomplish many more things. But
Mm.
just for right now.
Yeah, so off the top of my head, I'll say one is the okay. Let me think. So you got okay, discipline, um, just his overall character and um his relationship with God. So yeah, the most rewarding, I think, yeah, those three: his relationship with God, his overall character, and his discipline. So the relationship with God, he now attends kids' church and stuff. Um, every Sunday that he's with me, every other Sunday when he's with me, and he he will if I somehow forget, he will never let us leave the house without praying.
Mm,
Um, he will always bless his food. He will always show love and he's improving in his own personal prayers too. So these things, when I see these things and I think about these things, he's building his own little relationship with God. To
mm,
me, that's very rewarding and that's beautiful.
yeah.
Um, First and foremost, and then his character. He, like I said, I would love him to play sports. I mentioned that earlier. I'd love him to play football, right? He doesn't,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I love him any less. He is an amazing boy. He's an amazing character.
Yeah.
I'm even going to post a video today. Actually, I was just chopping it up before this, and it's just him smiling, and this is just him. He's just always smiling. He's just always happy.
Yeah.
Um, he's just a genuine good guy. Like I never have to really speak to him too tough.
Yeah.
Um, he's just I don't know. He's just down to earth. I'm just grateful. I'm just blessed. So yeah, his character. He just brightens up my day with his smile. He's got such good energy all the time too. Sometimes too much energy, but he's just got such good energy. So I think for me, it's very rewarding to know that, and people often compliment our relationship that we have, and this is rewarding as well because this comes with time spent. As I said, that's the biggest thing for me. So
Yeah.
I know that we have this relationship because of time spent and the court situation.
Mm,
Putting in time to do these things and make sure I'm there for him.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so for me, it's very rewarding to know and see the relationship that we have and how he is as a character and certain things that I'm showing him that he's now taking on board and is helping him. And lastly, the discipline, again, which ties in with what I just said. He won't leave his room without making a bed.
Mm,
He won't come in and not wash his hands, not put his shoes down nicely. If I ask him to put away his clothes, he knows he needs to fold it now without me asking. Um, these type of things. Putting his plates away, tucking in his chair,
yeah.
holding door, people saying thank you.
Mm,
Um, I could go on, but yeah.
yeah.
So the discipline that he has now, and linked with the mannerisms, and yeah, just the way he is.
Yeah.
I think just very rewarding for me to see him
That's
in
dope. No,
in
I
these.
love that, bro. I can see just like you start like you're smiling, you're like your posture changing. Like I could tell how excited, how much how much it means to you, man. Which is dope.
Yeah,
Like just to see like almost a glow, right, when you talk about your son, like which is dope, and it reminded me like when you talk about too, like being involved and in the church and really building his own relationship with God. Like it reminds me because that was I have many proud moments, but the most recent one was two of my kids got baptized, and like that's something they
hey,
decided, and like
glory to God. That's big.
yeah, man. So I was super
That's
excited because my
incredible.
son's 11 and my daughter's 9, and I asked them to make sure they wasn't doing it just to do it,
Mm,
and their reasoning was so good. I was like, dang, like okay, like at the end of the day, that's like God has really touched their heart. So yeah, so I definitely can relate to that though, man, because that's one of the like amazing moments that for me as a father, right, where it's like, okay, and that's what I was gonna say to you is like your son's doing all these things because at the end of the day you're leading by example, man, just like your dad did for you. You know what I mean?
mm,
He's seeing when the work you're putting in. He's seeing you, read your Bible, pray, go to church, whatever it is that you're doing. You're folding your clothes. You know what I mean? You're doing these things, and he's watching what you're doing because at the end of the day, you're his superhero. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And there's nothing you can do in his eyes that's wrong. You know what I mean? Because you're dad. And so I wanted to salute you, man, in that and what you're doing, like for sure. Because I'm big on that. I'm big on anytime I have a guest, man. I always want to give them their flowers. And so that's what I want to do for you, man. Like, you're still young. I don't know if you want more kids later on or you're done or what, but regardless, your son is blessed to have you. And if you do have more kids, they're going to be blessed to have you as a father. Just the way you carry yourself and the way you care. It's a beautiful thing, man. And I love the content you've been doing too. Like it's dope just to see. Because like you said, it's that stigma of fathers can't be open or open or share their feelings or be emotional on certain things, and not only are you doing that, but you're also showing your son that's okay to do too,
Mm.
right? Which is pretty dope. Like, hey, no, let's not just be surface level. Like, okay, that's how you feel. You could leave it at that. Say, well, why do you feel that way?
Mm.
Okay, what happens when this happens? Oh, okay, right. Like you're digging a little deeper, and so you're already giving your son tools so he can be emotionally intelligent, which is super, super dope to me, man. So, again, I wanted to salute you on that, bro. That's dope.
No, I appreciate you, bro. And straight back at you, man. Obviously, that's a testament to you, obviously, and the things you're doing. Hearing that your two of your kids have just been baptized, which is
Mm,
incredible.
yeah,
That's been
man.
at such a young age. That shows, obviously, the work you've been doing.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, what's the scripture? As for me and my house, we will
Yep.
serve the Lord. So, I think that's the fruits of that. That's the
Yes,
fruit.
absolutely. That's literally one of the standards for me. Like, hey, I don't know what the world is doing, but what we're doing here is different. So,
Mm.
um, man, I appreciate your time, man. For sure, bro. I know we had little technical difficulties with the with the camera and stuff, but I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate you making it work for me. And before we go to, I want you to plug in, where they can follow you on Instagram, TikTok, and just follow your journey, bro. Because like I said, for the fathers out there, I definitely encourage y'all to check out my brother from the UK. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing, man. So go ahead and let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, yeah. So the handle for all of the socials really is at underscore Father's World. If you can see the little T in the back, got the Father's World merch and that. But yeah, that's the handle at underscore Father's World. So yeah, it will be great to connect with more fathers. Um, wherever you're from, like yourself, bro. So appreciate you,
Yeah,
and
man.
your space and all the things that you're doing. Not just for your family, but also for fathers as well, all over the world, man. You've gone global now, so appreciate what
Yeah,
you're doing.
I
Appreciate
appreciate
you, bro.
that,
It's
man.
big, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah, yeah, man. No, it's about, for me, it's about really making an impact. And again, I'm big on my faith, so I
Mm.
talk about it often. But it's just more so just doing what God has called me to do, which I'm sure you're doing. I know you're doing. Not, I'm sure. I know you're doing what God has called you to do as well, as a father, as a man. So just keep it up, bro. But yeah, y'all. I'm gonna make sure too. I get his information as well. It's gonna be on the YouTube. It's gonna be on, was it Spotify, Apple, all the stuff, all the platforms. You guys check it out. I'm gonna have his information. So give him a follow. Shoot, hit him up in the DM if you are in the UK, right? You want to connect with him. If you want to play some football with him, right? Whatever the case is. But yeah, guys. With that being said, like always, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro.